Glasses a bit. Oh, well, that's what I said. Yeah, time for bed. Oh, I don't know. Oh, I'm going through a well chilled out, sort of sleepy, bored watching the movies normally. But often some quite good things channel through when I'm in this mood. I think I'm just, yeah, I've got 8 more days to go. And so I am a bit restless. And today's been funny. Of course, it's just a Sunday. None of my people on Facebook work on a Sunday. So that was one issue. I sent an email to my Facebook contact, but of course got no response. So that sort of wound me up. And then I tried to contact some people around here, and they were obviously busy and I didn't get a response. So that was the pattern for today. Just a frustrating day. And I've got things to sort out with a bank. And the bank lady gave me a wrong email. See, it's such a silly little niggly thing. But it meant it's not a big deal because I've got to go in and see her tomorrow. But it's just that sort of thing. Everything was sort of blocked. Nothing connected. Nothing happened. And being a Sunday, it would normally be a day that I would go out in my car and do things, a special day, but that ain't happening. Oh, and I did get I've got the response from the PIPS people. Again, I couldn't respond to that, but I've got an 0800 number to phone, which means I've just got to re-register. Although I have sent, I suppose that's the only thing I've done today. Well, not quite like that. But I sent a more up-to-date video to Douglas Ross going on to the other thing, which is connected with my application, about how the situation is quite dire in the sense people are committing suicide. And then I did hear on the BBC that there's an 18-month waiting list for similar people like myself who are appealing against their PIP's decision. About anything that's positive that come out, of course, whether this will be applied, and again, it's up to people, that I feel the whole PIP's system, whatever you want to call it, needs to be closed down, and that the actual power to give you or grant you mobility allowance or the other allowance, because it's in 2 components, is given to your doctors, to your GPs. And because they still got to do this in a sense, but the way it is at the moment, you go to the Department of Work and Pension, you apply for PIPs, then they contact your doctor, but then you go back and are grilled. Well, I shouldn't think there's any need for that. It's a clear case of the doctor, your own doctor that know you, they assess your particular conditions and they have some guidelines, get it? Because I've challenged that. Okay, it may be paranoid or what, but the people I've seen, the couples that I've seen drive up to my local library seem quite capable on their feet, whereas I'm quite struggling with my blood clot, very, very slow. And I feel it's up to just your own GP or because I turn it off myself, our own GPs to assess us, if you like, and if we do qualify for either the maximum mobility and the maximum care. This is 2 components. And because it seems they've got to do it anyway, because what happens is a WP asked them for a report anyway. You see what I mean? I think we should just cut out these social worker, get it, types, because it's unnecessary. And it will also be a far better system, because if it's done that way, that your doctor's authorization is final, there's no discussion, get it? There's no interrogation, because that's what it's like. You get me? It should be, see, the trip should just be on the basis of your doctors. And you go back, see them, they tell you there and then, well, yes, I'm going to recommend that you have, whatever is it, middle rate care, get it? And but higher rate mobility. And of course, everyone's circumstances are different, but of course, your doctor can soon suss that. I mean, I do get care, but I could probably do a high rate of that, because I do need someone to come and clean my home, even if it's once a week, whatever, because of my leg. And then the mobility is the highest because I've got, for me, okay, I can't help but focus on myself, but because I've got two major conditions, a blood clot in my leg, and a heart condition. And I must admit, I did feel, obviously wrongly, but then I didn't realise the bigger picture, because basically I've got a perfect cop out. They're basically saying we're inundated with people appealing against their decision, and we're 18 months. This is according to the BBC. I don't know if I mentioned that. The BBC released this news that they're actually 18 months behind. And I feel, yes, well, that's obviously got to be worked through. But to stop this scenario, nip it in the bud, repeating myself, that our doctors, purely on their assessment, should this decision be made. And the beauty of that is that when you go to your doctor and when you get your final assessment done, you know there and then that you are going to get such and such benefits, like your mobility benefit. And it's just a matter of these, which is really their job should be, to administrate and arrange for your benefits to be paid to you. But it also means you, if you get your high mobility allowance certificate, well, it's like a thing from the doctor, but then that is it. That should be enough for you to go and get your car, and you can enter into your car person who's going to give you a mobility car. I'm sorry, but it can take 3 or 4 months, get it, for this to be processed. But they, being a good thing, would understand and appreciate that. Maybe, again, well, you'll soon sort out the wheat from the chaff. Those that do will obviously be the ones that get all the business. We do give you 4 months, whatever, credit in inverted commas on your mobility. Upon proof of you being awarded mobility, you should be able to repeat, go and get your car, and then it's up to the state or government, whatever word we use, to get their act together and cut out all these unnecessary work, get it, panels and people grilling you and interrogating you, because that's basically what it is, and all the money and hassle that's involved in that. And then they're just put in their rightful place. You're just a pen pusher. Because a lot of them have got on a big power trip. Yeah, literally that. They have the final word. Well, fuck them. Yeah, fuck them. Yeah. Out, fucking demons out, you cunts. And it should be our doctors that have the final word. They know us the best. Get it? Not some dipshit. Well, I can't. Okay, I mean, to Graham, you're just being, well, I am, right, okay. But yes, and then it'll be a far better system. Yeah. So maybe, yeah, I feel the PIPs needs to be closed down and totally reassessed. Call it something else. and repeat myself, it's set up that doctors, your doctor, get it, the person that knows you, has the authority. And actually that is the case. See, that's the Mickey Mouse of it. They still go back to the doctors and they still probably ask them a load of shite, get it, which they could fill in at first. Get it, totally bypasses this panel of people that actually interrogate you. There's not a word for it. I mean, you shouldn't even need to go and see them at all. That's it. No, their job is to reduce, like I keep saying, their job is just to arrange that your new benefits that have been authorised by your doctor are paid. So you go to the Department of Work and Pension and says, such and such and such, national insurance number, is now on such and such a benefit, and can you pay them? And that's literally all they do. Because at the moment, they're playing gods, basically. Yeah. And it's totally a waste of space. And as you can see, it isn't working. People are not, that's it. If you go to see your doctor, then he tells you, oh, I'm only going to award you this. Yeah, there's your trip, see? And I'm only going to award you that. You can contest and get a second doctor's opinion. Probably that would be the end of the road, but you know what I mean? In the context, and again, like with me, a blood clot's a blood clot, although it can be proven. I've had that, the proof been monitored up to a machine. Same as my heart condition, that can be proven, monitored up to a machine. But then the doctor realises, like with me, I got diagnosed with atrial fibrillation because I was constantly out of breath, just climbing up an incline. So that gives you an idea how unfit I am on that level. And then as to my leg, there's blood clots and blood clots, but my symptoms are my leg can go just completely dead. And if I fall over, which has happened because of this icy thing, we've had, then I can't get up without assistance because the leg just goes dead. Now, I would say that would clearly indicate quite a level of blood clottedness. You get me? And I would, you can. If I'm a doctor to myself and say, oh, God, definitely, you've got the mobility. Because going around the circle of people I've seen that have been awarded mobility can perfectly walk quite a good stride to them. You get me to get out their car and that is, and I think other people are seeing this, that there might be some bias and that couples get awarded it and yet single people don't. Just think that through. The sort of people that are single, there'll be statistics to back this up. If you have a major psychotic condition, I think it can be proved statistically that the number of people that have a major psychotic disability are not married. I know just from a practical thing. Well, no, hold on, I'm losing gist because that's another condition. My diabetes. Oh, no, but also no, if you have mood swings, same thing, that generally such couples sleep apart. Because if the person's a bit hyper, they don't want to sleep, get it, it's going to disturb the other person. But I'd also say, guessing then, off the top of my head, but moving in the spirit, that statistics will clearly prove that those that do have a psychotic condition, percentage-wise, a very low percentage of them compared to normal, get it, that is lower. So it's verifying my point, that if you're single, you're less likely to get mobility allowance than if you're a nice little married couple, and probably their way of justifying is, oh, well, it's two people's lives are going to radically improve. Get it? Which there is some intent, but that shouldn't be the case. Because going around the circle, for my own personal witness, going to Elgin Library, and I see these people driving up with their little disablement badge, right, and their nice cars. Not because I'm jealous, but the fact is they all seem to be a lot fitter than me. So that could be really re-looked at. Get it? And that there are certain medical conditions, but again, I contradict myself, there are degrees in any condition. And there's got to be some, well, as you get to know, I'm talking now as if I'm talking to doctors, you get to know your patient, you know they're not a liar, you know they're not a thing. And if they say, oh my God, yeah, you know, if I slip up, I can't get up again because the leg goes dead. And then the care thing is just that. I'm not trying to push, but I do need someone to just keep my hair. And you get that. So the money goes towards you getting a cleaner in once a week. Oh yeah, that's okay, right? See, that's the truth. Oh, I don't need people to cook for me. Now that can be different. See, that would be a case, and that's fair dues. But I do need someone to come and clean for me. And at the moment, I can't afford any of that, right? I've been living hand to mouth. And the issue with this is, so again, there may be some initiative needs to be started to provide people who have been on long-term disability, because that's my issue right down to earth now, a form of credit card which covers emergencies. Because at the moment, if you're living hand to mouth and you've budgeted everything, but anything that comes out of that, you know, budgeting, you're fucked. And it could be something as stupid as an electrical appliance breaking down. Get it? These things happen. And yet you try, any of you, to live without any credit. And this is why these people are committing suicide. Because it's a rational, okay, you could say distorted decision. But when they are refused, and this is real, this is now, people are killing themselves because of their being refused mobility allowance because the system is fucked and these PIPS people need shagging. Oh, I do. Whoever put that PIP scheme together needs shagging. Okay, that's offensive, Graham. You know, right? Yeah. They're filth. Yeah. Yeah, they're filth. Again, you see, any form of insult, I'm just being told this in the spirit, you're just going to get backlash. But if you do feel they're demonic, which I do, the powers of darkness are using them and they're demonic, yeah, okay, I'm a priest, I can share that impression. Yeah, these people are demonic and that they're being used by the powers of darkness, and a lot of unnecessary suffering is being caused, as well as people actually committing suicide. And if an investigation went into these people, it'd probably be heart-wrenching, because some of them, because of their low self-esteem, actually apologize, you know, in their suicide letters, for instance. Oh, I'm very sorry, I was a worthless, useless piece of shit who couldn't keep my garden clean because of depression, get it, and couldn't do that, and felt like I wanted to kill myself because my life was so menial because of my lack of money. Get it? And when they're refused the benefit, it's like society saying there's fuck all wrong with you. Yeah, there's no other way of interpreting if you're refused a benefit. And even though, like me, you can say, well, of course I should be entitled to mobility. Got a fucking blood clot in my leg, you stupid cunts. And I feel my own case was because I didn't turn up. And that could be looked into statistically. How many people, or what percentage of people, are refused benefit because they don't manage to get to the interrogation? Because that's literally what it is. So we're going back to that again. Some smart ass shit social worky types, and some of them are meant to be doctors, ask you these stupid questions. Again, you shouldn't have to be put through that. It's humiliating, it's demeaning, and people with low self-esteem, they can trick you. That's it. That's why you advise to get an independent person like the Citizens Advice to fill the form in. Now, where's that at? Because they're well aware that these questions are not very, they can take advantage of someone's over-honesty. Classic one, make the example. Can you walk 50 yards? Now, the right answer is, if you're a mood swinger, sometimes. That's what I was advised by my thing. All of it. Can you cook a meal? Sometime. Because you have got to answer it because your moods swing. And you know that. But if you answer it because your ego says, well, of course I can do that. See, it's an insult to you or your ego, then you're going to fuck yourself. And that's exactly what happened. This goes way back to the DLA. I had to get someone else to answer the form because I would fuck it like that. Well, of course I can. No, it's sometimes I can, but sometimes I can't. And that applies to all of it. Get it? It's a waste of space, and it doesn't appreciate that people with psychological problems have mood swings. And if they're in a good mood, they only make a joke at they might even decide to get out of bed. Oh yeah, this is true. Again, statistic. But if I'm in a low mood, I sometimes don't even bother to get out of bed. So I've got nothing to get out of bed for. I've got no job, got no money, got no cat, got no dog. Get it? I ain't got nothing, Lord. It's a sort of a blues song, but that's the trip. And doctors, well, if they're experienced, know this. Get it? But even if you've got a brilliant doctor, you can still be fucked. That's what I say, the evil of these people. They're either complete asshole idiots that don't even have this basic understanding that, oh, well, no, he has mood swings, so some days he can, so some days he can't. But then it makes a whole ridiculousness of the form. Get it? Because if you just put sometimes to everything, that could be a very truthful, honest, fair response to whatever you're asked. You know, do you go out and socialise? Sometimes. That's the trip. But if you put all through this, and you shouldn't be, that's what I'm saying. To end my spiel, doctors should be given the sole responsibility and the power then to assess people for benefits, whether it's mobility or care. Because incident people, they actually are used, but it is these asshole interrogations that go on because of these power people who do have a financial incentive, and that can be proven. To the number of people they successfully discourage or end their appeal, they get a backhander. Might not be called that. So you get 100 people who have started to appeal against their diagnosis or their decisions, not diagnosis, and then they eventually drop away. Well, look at my case. It took me 2.5 years of appeals to get DLA, similar trip. And it was because I was going through these stupid interrogations. And at first I was naive. Oh, yes, I can walk 100 yards. Right, get it? And then I got advised by someone who's that's what his job. So he actually filled the form in for me. That's it. Yeah. And that's nothing wrong. That is because certain honest, how can I put it, social work, come whatever, departments know this. That's his actual job, to assist you in applying. And this goes right through to the citizens' advice. Did my appeal, right? That's why I know the questions were answered correctly and rightly and, were clearly in my favour, but because I didn't turn up. Get it? And we only go right round circle. How many people do you think have been waiting or are waiting for 18 months? That's enough in itself to cause someone to commit suicide. They give up. Think that through. You're applying for whatever it is. Just use another analogy. And you're told you're kept waiting for 18 months. Well, the old joke, you'd bloody kill yourself. That is what's happening. Yeah. So it needs to stop. Otherwise, it is evil. Yeah. No other word. People are being taken advantage of their low self-esteem. Get it? It's part of their illness. And so we need people to come in, that's your doctors, who understand that and can answer in an unbiased, accurate manner. They are your doctors. Well, then they can be paid more, whatever, because the trip is, it is going to your DWP, but then they send stuff to your doctors to fill, but there then still is this interrogation you've got to go through, which is wrong. Yeah. All I'm saying is people themselves go to their doctor saying their wish, intending to apply for care of mobility pits, which they've got to. If they're in that situation, it's just the way the benefits have changed. And then the doctor can tell them, well, I'm very sorry, Willie, but I'm gonna recommend you for middle care, get it, and lower rate mobility, right? Just an example. But you then know, and then you can possibly appeal in 6 months' time, get it, your conditions got worse, but at least you know, not the way it is now, where a so-called social work come team whose job it is to grill you, get it? And again, if you're someone psychologically disabled, you don't handle this sort of stuff now. You just let these people, cajole you into answering what they want you to answer. Who knows what levels of manipulation go on in these so-called assessment panels? Well, it's obvious to me, and again, the statistics show it, that they're a year and a half behind. How many fucking people are waiting? And that shows it just doesn't work. PIPS isn't worth the ink it's written with. Yeah. And I feel we ought to get out on the streets. But unfortunately, I'm being realistic now. Because of people's low self-esteem, because of people's lack of finances, get it? I can think of people now, they're wheelchair bound and they've got their life to live. They're not going to do it. But some of them are the lucky ones. They maybe have got full mobility, get it? But some of us who haven't, we do need, I'm trying to be it now, a definitive voice to stand up for us, to stand up for our rights. So I sent this anyway to my MP, a lot shorter version, but I can send him this video. I sent him a video and the gist of the video and a written statement via his secretary saying that the whole PIPS system is demonic needs completely re-looking at it and mentioning the number of people that are committing suicide. Could he look into this, please? And the MP again is Douglas Ross. So anybody interested in this man's your MP, there's your way. Write to Douglas Ross, MP. You can do that. Hello, I'm similar to Mr. Graham Clark. I've been refused PIPs, and you tell him your story. And you can get someone to help you write the letter. Because whether he likes it or not, he was recommended to me. I'm not political at all. I know he's a Conservative. To me, he could be King Kong, cunt and fuck party, whatever. But he was recommended to me as someone who's good about disabilities. So sorry, Mr. Ross. You're probably going to get a few letters there again. You probably get fuck all. And again, I've done my bit. I suggested to people via this video, if you also feel you've been fucked over by the PIPs, people, write to Douglas Ross. Because I've asked him to look into this, get it, the suicide factors and that, and then hopefully I'll get a response from him. Very sorry, Mr. Clark, whatever, right? I'm afraid you're, well, it isn't, because it's the BBC. This wasn't me, get it, you know, and gossip and that. This is announced on the BBC, quote. Not the suicide, but it's obviously tied to it. They're 18 months behind. Oh, I'm just going to weep. In responding. And it won't take you long, Mr. Ross, to get the numbers. Well, how many people are waiting? And then as your job as an MP, because that's why you've been elected, to represent the people, we, the disabled people of Murray, well, it's probably more, but you know what I mean, are asking you to look into this. And we feel the PIP system isn't worth the ink it's written with. And we feel our doctors should be the sole authority and means of assessing our disability level, and that we will know in that assessment what the decision is, and we can then get our car, not have to wait months for these bureaucrats to not be able to do their job. Get it? Which is to just allocate our new benefit levels, if you like. So they go to the Department of Work and Pension, and they who pay us just make them pay us. See, it's not. This delay of 18 months isn't just that, because that isn't what's in place. It's all these bullshit hearings that people have got to go through, and the waste of money that these hearings are. Repeat myself, the doctors, our own doctors that know us, should be the ones that assess our availability or the level of disability benefits we get. End of story. And all this other shit, which is political bullshit and waste of money, needs to be scrapped. And in my opinion, the person that puts this scheme together needs sacking. But that's my opinion. I'm entitled to it. Anyway, it hasn't been long. It's only 10 o'clock, but I have had some breathing now. Hi, I'll just say that I'm going to end this now and post it. And I've called, well, I think I'll call it something different. It's called Time for Bed. I will alter the title. PIPs benefits scrapped ?